Alex assured of P5.9M in Aussie Open. Update: even an early tournament exit would still have Alex, Ila and her team cashing in at the Australian Open, AO, where the Filipino netter will make her main draw debut. Ila will secure $150,000 Australian dollars or roughly P5.9 million prize money for a first-round appearance at the first major of the year. Of course, the prize gets higher the deeper the round Ila reaches, with the peak coming at 4.15 million Australian dollars or more than P165 million for the champion. Running from January 12th to February 1st, the Australian Open offers a record 111.5 million Australian dollar prize pool or P4.4 billion. That is a 16% increase from last year's prize pool of 96.5 million Australian dollars and the largest in tournament history. This 16% increase demonstrates our commitment to supporting tennis careers at every level, Tennis Australia CEO Craig Tiley said in a report by the AO website. From boosting qualifying prize money by 55% since 2023 to enhancing player benefits, we're ensuring professional tennis is sustainable for all competitors. Ila's build-up for her AO main draw debut began with the ASB Classic in Auckland, New Zealand. The 20-year-old competes at the doubles and singles divisions, getting past her opponents in the opening rounds of both categories. Ila and American partner Iva Jovic took down the American-Ukrainian tandem of Venus Williams and Elena Svitolina 7-6, 7, 6-1 in the doubles side on Monday to reach the quarterfinals. The following day, Ila pulled the rug from under Croatian Dana Vekic 4-6, 6-4, 6-4 to enter the round of 16 in the singles division. After the ASB Classic, which will end on January 11th, Ila will swing back to action for an exhibition at the Kooyong Classic in Melbourne from January 13th to 15th. Alex and the weight of P5.9 million. The number sat quietly on Alex's phone screen, glowing brighter than the Australian summer sun outside her hotel window. 5.9 million Cuban pesos. Assured. It was strange how numbers could feel heavy. This one did. Not because it was small, far from it, but because of everything packed inside it. Early mornings when the alarm rang before the sun. Blistered palms wrapped in tape. Missed birthdays, skipped holidays, airports that blurred into one another. The weight of expectations, both spoken and silent. Alex set the phone down and stared at the ceiling. The Australian Open had always lived in her imagination as a distant place, blue courts, roaring crowds, names that sounded like legends even before the matches began. Now she was here. Not as a tourist. Not as a junior hoping for a wild card. But as a competitor who had already earned her place, and with it, a guarantee, 5.9 million Cuban pesos for stepping onto one of the sport's grandest stages. Money had never been the reason she picked up a racket. She remembered the first one she held, too big for her hands, the grip fraying, strings uneven. It wasn't about endorsements or prize checks back then. It was about the sound the ball made when it met the strings just right. That clean pop that felt like the world briefly made sense. But money changes the way the world looks at you. Back home, messages poured in. Some were proud. Some were hopeful. Some quietly desperate. People saw the number and imagined salvation. School fees, hospital bills, a way out. To them, 5.9 million Cuban pesos wasn't just a prize, it was possibility. To Alex, it was proof. Proof that the gamble had been worth it. Proof that leaving home young, training far away, and carrying a flag heavier than any racket had not been in vain. At practice later that day, the courts shimmered with heat. The ball bounced faster here, sharper, less forgiving. Every player moved with purpose. No wasted steps. No wasted swings. Everyone was chasing something, ranking points, redemption, history. Alex wiped sweat from her brow and bounced the ball before serving. She knew the number would follow her onto the court. People would mention it in interviews, headlines, casual conversations. Already guaranteed 5.9 million Cuban pesos, they would say, as if it were the finish line. But she understood something deeper. The money wasn't a reward for what she was about to do. It was recognition of what she had already survived. Each peso represented hours no one watched. Matches played on outer courts with empty stands. Losses that hurt more than any physical pain. Moments when quitting felt logical, even kind. Moments when belief had to be rebuilt from nothing. That night, Alex called home. Her parents didn't talk about the money right away. They asked if she had eaten, if she was sleeping enough, if the heat was manageable. Ordinary questions, grounding questions. The kind that reminded her she was still just a daughter, not a headline. Only at the end did her father mention it, his voice careful. "We're proud of you," he said. "Not because of the amount. Because you earned it." Alex closed her eyes. The next day, she walked through the gates of Melbourne Park, racket bags slung over her shoulder. The courts buzzed with energy, languages mixing, cameras clicking, dreams colliding. Somewhere nearby, champions were warming up. Somewhere else, future champions were being born. She took a deep breath. 5.9 million Cuban pesos was assured, yes. But what mattered more was what couldn't be measured. The courage to stand on that court. The discipline to keep going when no one was watching. The quiet promise she had made to herself years ago, to see how far she could go. As she stepped onto the blue court, the sun high above and the crowd slowly settling into their seats, Alex smiled. This was never about the money. The money was just proof that she belonged.